country or the thriller in Manila, Muhammad Ali called George Chuvalo the toughest fighter he ever faced. The two squared off at Maple Leaf Gardens on March 29, 1966. And although Ali was victorious, the 15-round bout will live forever in Canadian boxing history. Narrated by Lennox Lewis, Michael Farber looks back at the fight that took place 50 years ago.
If you are lucky, there is a moment in life when a man passes through that invisible barrier. Like George Chuvalo. He wakes in the morning, a Canadian boxer. He goes to sleep, a Canadian icon. I didn't see it, of course. I was 7 months old. I wouldn't move from England to Canada for another 11 years. But in life, there's events, whether or not you actually witness them, that become personal sporting touchstones, part of your cultural DNA. I'm 50. For many Canadians my age or younger, it's Henderson scores for Canada. In time, it will be Sidney Crosby's golden goal. For me, and for everyone that loves the sweet science, it's George Chuvalo fighting Muhammad Ali at Maple Leaf Gardens.
The chance of a lifetime for George Chuvalo.
As I learned in 15 years as a pro, boxing is hard. Well, making a fight can be even harder. Ali was heavyweight champion in 1966, but he was a pariah in his homeland for stance as a conscientious objector and his relationship with the Nation of Islam. Ali had been scheduled to meet Ernie Terrell in Chicago. Illinois didn't want it. No other American boxing jurisdiction would welcome Ali. The Ali Terrell fight was going to take place in Montreal, but the mayor and the Quebec premier wanted nothing to do with the Ali fight, and Terrell wanted nothing to do with Montreal. So on March 12th, George received a call asking if he wanted to fight for the title in his hometown in 17 days. If they had said tomorrow instead of 2.5 weeks, George would have said the same thing. Absolutely.
Say, woman, can you box?
Ali always came up with nicknames for his opponents. George was the washerwoman. Well, instead of Comet and Lest Oil, George brought his left jab and a formidable right on that blustery night of March 29, 1966. No challenger had gone the distance with Ali since he had become world champion. Chuvalo would. So maybe it was sometime in the 15th round, as George kept advancing, undeterred by a blizzard of punches, that Chuvalo slipped through an invisible barrier when he crossed into the pantheon of Canadian sports heroes. George wore his courage like a badge on his black trunks that long ago night. Ali won the fight handedly, but fight George did. When it was over, the champ went to the Wellesley Hospital because he was urinating blood. George, he took his wife dancing. That was 50 years ago. In 1988, I won an Olympic gold medal representing Canada. Within 5 years, I was heavyweight champion of the world, a title I held with honor for a better part of a decade. But looking back and seeing George now, I can only imagine how special it would be in another 50 years if my accomplishments in the ring reverberate as loudly as the night the toughest fighter in history went the distance.
Jonathan